everyone. Welcome back to Kayla's Journey with Autism. I'm sorry I haven't uploaded in a while. I know I said I was going to start uploading more at my last video I uploaded like 3 or 4 months ago. But stuff's been happening in my life that I'd like to share with you, and I have two things I would like to share. So let's take you guys back a few months, and fill you guys in on what's been happening in my life and where I am now. So, me and my partner were having some issues, mainly with me talking to other people outside the marriage that weren't the healthiest for me. And I like attention, and it's hard for me to get attention because people on the spectrum, it's hard for them to get attention and know what's right or wrong. But I'm more high functioning, as you can see, but I still am, push the limit a little bit on some things. So, I started talking to some people, one I knew from school and one I just met online. And we were talking quite a while, and we got each other's phone numbers, and we started texting a lot, like daily and FaceTiming, whatever. And it got to the point that I got so attached to him that I ignored my marriage and wasn't faithful to my marriage. And I started talking, not the greatest to him. I would just say inappropriately or not, or the wrong thing that I'm talking to him outside our marriage. And I wanted a friend, and he was on the spectrum. And, we connected in a good way on that level, but in some levels, it got me to a point of losing my marriage. And I was a big part of losing my marriage. So it got really, really bad, and I started being on my phone a lot, ignoring my partner, and just giving up on us, and wasn't focused on us and getting better in us. And we talked about counseling in the past, and we were at the point I wasn't really wanting to. We were both kind of not really wanting to, and kind of my mom wanted us to, but we were adults, and it was our decision not to really go there at the time. So, um, anyway, back probably in October, was at my breaking point, and I decided to talk to my counselor, texted her, and said, "Hey, I'm having all these thoughts. What's going on? Can you help me?" And it got really, really bad, these texts to her, like really severe and really concerning to other people. And before waking up, I was just really, really anxious, couldn't settle myself. So I texted her, and then she talked to my dad and said, "Hey, you need to get over to your daughter. Something's going on with her. She needs support." And he came over to my house and said, "Hey, what's going on?" And I hugged him. I normally don't hug my dad very much, and I was kind of tearing up, and I was very emotional and stressed and confused at the time. He came over, we took a little drive, and he's like, "What's going on?" And, I kind of talked to him here and there about it, but not in huge detail. He only knew bits and pieces of what was going on, but he wanted to be in my life, supporting me and understanding me, what I needed. And, he's like, "Okay, we came back home after our little drive," and I'm like thinking, I can't be home right now. I need to be gone. And so I left and went down to his shop and was still texting my counselor nonstop. And me and her decided, okay, I think let's go to the ER and maybe you can get admitted to get more help. And my dad was on board with that. So we had to drive 40 miles away to get me checked out. I told them what's going on. And so they had me change into this special suit because I had I say suicidal thoughts, I guess you could say. So they um, changed me into this brown jumpsuit, and they took things very seriously, which they should because people can be very severe in that area. And I changed, and they watched me. I talked to some therapists there to see what's going on, and they didn't do much, a whole lot, because I wasn't so severe suicidal that they had to admit me right then and there. But they wanted some blood work, and I was like, oh no, I can't do that. I'm too anxious. I pass out when I have blood work done. So they're like, okay, well, let's give you this medication to help you calm down, and maybe then we can revisit it. It kicked in. It felt very nice, but I still didn't want my blood work done to see what else was going on or whatever. So anyway, I got released that night, and I was with my dad, and I decided to stay the night with my dad because at that time we thought it wasn't safe for me to be home. So I spent the night at my dad's. I will have to tell you, my dad's is not the ideal place. It's a shop. He's a mechanic. Not a lot of privacy. It smells. It's dirty. But I dealt with it for a night. Just get some relief there. The next day, I was still not the best. I went to counseling and talked to my counselor saying, hey, this is what's going on. They gave me this medicine to help me calm down. I want more of that. That made me feel good. She's like, okay, well, maybe you can ask for it again. So I went back down again, 40 miles away. I felt bad for my dad, but he was willing to do whatever it takes to help his daughter. And we talked to them, and they said, well, this is what we can possibly do if you're up for it. We don't have to. It wasn't their decision. It was more my decision if I was okay with it or not. They gave me the pill again, but they said they can't prescribe it for me because it was a controlled substance, which was, addictive to your body. It was just not safe. Got released again. Went back with my dad. I stayed with my dad for, oh gosh, how many weeks? Like 3 or 4 weeks. I don't know. I can't even remember. And I was trying to find a new place to live because at the time I didn't want to be with my partner. I felt he was unsafe to me, or I was too anxious, and a lot of things were going on at the time. And I wanted to be with this other guy, and I haven't even met him I haven't even met him in person, only online or FaceTime. So, okay, that's a little interesting, right? But at that time, I was totally into him. He grew on me. People who give me attention grow on me, and if they do that, I get attached very, very quickly. And it's kind of not very safe in some cases, but like this case. So, I was talking to him constantly, really wanting to be with him, and being really kind of rude to my partner who wasn't at the time with me. He was at our house. So I was being not very good, and I didn't really want to know it at the time because I was so invested in this one guy that I just wanted to hear him and be with him. And so, I was trying to look for places to live. Up here, it's very expensive now, very limited, and I didn't have like no money, and so the options were very, very thin. I had to either do a roommate situation or go to somebody's house. So probably, let's see, around December-ish, I ended up at a friend's house. I kind of grew up with their son, and so we kind of knew each other, but weren't very close as adults. So it was kind of awkward. He was upstairs with me where I had a room, but the room that I had was huge. It was really, really nice, but it was still very weird sharing a house with somebody else like that. It felt really weird to me. And so it was just not fun for me. And I was still talking to other guys at the time, different ones, and especially that one guy who I got really attached to. Then one day, my dad was going to do some errands, and I decided I really wanted to come with him. I just felt more comfortable with my dad at the time. And we grew very close at this time. I spent a lot of time with him. And at that day, I went back to the shop and I said, Dad, I cannot go back to their house. He's like, well, I don't know what else to do. And I'm like, okay, well, I no, I can't. And he's like, well, I don't know what else to do for you. And he kind of got a little edgy himself. And then I messaged my husband at the time, saying, "Hey, I want to come back. Can you forgive me?" All these things, and he's like, "Well, I need you to prove to me, and and whatnot." He was saying to me, and so I came back, and he was at work when I came back, and it was kind of awkward first, just being like, "Hi, how's it going? I haven't seen you or talked to you in a while." And it was weird. It was uncomfortable, and he was in a hard spot himself because I hurt him very a lot. And he expressed that to me more once we got talking more after the fact that we ended up getting a divorce because of what happened. It was mostly me. I can admit that, and I feel extremely bad that that happened and that I've hurt someone. And I don't ever intend to hurt anyone, but I feel, and I do take responsibility that I did hurt somebody, and um, so it was hard, but we decided to go through with a divorce. So currently, as right now, we are officially separated, divorced, but we are trying to work things out. We've gone to counseling. We're working things out there. We are talking more. I am more engaged with him. I'm spending more time with him, talking to him more, being less on my phone because my phone gave me anxiety. So it's working really well right now. I think we're even closer than when we were married. And so I take full responsibility of what happened, and it was my fault, and I can say that. So around that time I was very anxious and very uncomfortable with a lot of things. And so my mental health went just skyrocketed, so unhealthy. I went in and out of the doctor's office and put on different medications to try to help me. I just, oh man, I saw a psychologist. My mom mentioned that I probably need to see one to help me manage my meds better, and they can help me better. And so I found one in the same town 40 miles away because ours up here was like a 2 year wait list. There was like 200 people on the wait list. And I'm like, there is no way I can wait that long. I need help so bad right now. I can't live another day. So I went down there and I told her my symptoms. She's like, okay, let's try this one. It helped with my depression, which I had also, but it didn't help with the anxiety. The anxiety got worse when I got put on it. So I saw her another time, checked in, okay, everything's fine, but I still wasn't good. I was laying on the couch, sleeping, so anxious, couldn't eat. If I ate, I had like the reflux, and it was horrible. I was crying, and my partner was just like, I want to help you, but I don't know how to help you. And it was nice to hear that I had somebody, and but I was still in an awful place. My mom was extremely worried with me because we would text each other every day, checking in with each other. How are you doing? And she got really worried. She actually mentioned that I can come live with her if I needed to, but I really didn't because that would have been kind of interesting. Um, so and then I found a person up here where I live, and I can just walk to it, which is great. And she is an amazing lady. I am so thankful that we found this lady and she's available to help me. She put me on the right medication. It helps, and she was wondering which one are you on, and I told her, she's like, why are you on that? That only helps depression. It doesn't help with depression and anxiety. So she put me on a one that will help me with my eating, sleeping, anxiety, and depression, and it is helping me so much right now. I am so happy. I'm getting back to my old self. Happy. I would encourage you all, if you guys have an animal, talk to your animal about your issues or troubles, whatever you're struggling with. Start with them, and if you get really, really bad, reach out to a person that's close to you. I talked to my pet, but I still needed some more extra help. If you guys have any questions, please ask me. Reach out to me. I am available if anyone needs it. Um, I I just really wish you guys would come to me because I would feel like I would. I want to help somebody change their life and help them if they're struggling like I did. and was. So I have a Facebook, I have Instagram, and I have YouTube. Please subscribe, comment, and share.